3 people waiting. Bro, I am fucking pretty much famous now. Bring the boys over. All right. Well, I was trying to get all fucking fancy with my lighting, but now my camera's all fucked up. How does it look? Here, let me bring it up on here. I don't know if it's my camera, but doesn't it look like there's a fucking haze? What is up, Paku, John Smith, Western Mass, Hep, all the fucking usuals. All the usuals. Is it like way too shadowy or something? I don't know. I got all excited. I'm just going to have to fucking roll with it right now. But I think my fucking, I don't know, the lighting's weird or something. That was cunning. Was cunning, like a jackal. I got 12 people in here. Holy fuck. This is nuts. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with this chat. Too Legit said, yeah, it's like a hazy blur. I know. I don't know what the fuck that is. Forgive me. 1 second while I fucking do some wiping off. Look at that. I am a fucking expert at fixing technology. I had a fingerprint on my fucking camera. I'm brilliant. I still don't like the shadows though. The shadows are fucking with me. I gotta move this light, I think. But my backlighting is fucking on point. Western Mass says the camera looks slightly hazy. He likes it though. That was just a little fucking grease from the chicken I ate earlier. I got a thing on my face from fucking jujitsu. Hold on 1 second. Hey Tree, can you come here for a second? What is up, everybody? Not to be weird, but can you look at this?
I don't want to be on camera.
You're not. You're right here. What is that? Is that like just burned from a ghee? Or is it like...
I don't know. When did that start?
I just noticed it on the camera right now.
It's not like sauce or something?
I don't know. I just really hope it's not
it-
like fucking ringworm or some shit.
Here.
I'm live right now too, so
You are?
yeah.
They can't see me, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, everyone can see you.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding. No one can see you. You're fine. So what is up, everybody? I just came on live and I noticed I got some fucking... I have a thing on my face and now I'm all worried that it's ringworm. I don't know what the fuck it is, though. I hope it's not fucking staph. Don't even say that, dude. Ah, ugh. The thought of that makes me... Ugh. I won't be able to... I literally... This week was my first week back of like hard training since October with a fucking injury. I just went to a fucking huge open mat yesterday. If I got fucking staph, I'll be so pissed. So fucking pissed. So what's up, boys? $299 is this weekend. I mean, when this card was announced and they started like releasing the fights and shit, especially the fucking Benoit Saint Denis Dustin Poirier fight, dude. Oh my God. I can't believe it's what, 5 days away? 5 fucking days away. Western Mass, bro. I didn't even know. You train jiu-jitsu? Robert Gerard. Jiu-jitsu is nasty for that shit. Yeah, I mean, any grappling sport, even striking too. I mean, and it's just any sport where there's fucking 15 different sweaty dudes all rolling around the same mat. I am like crazy religious with showering. Like I shower at the fucking gym the second I get off the mats. But no matter what you do, like sooner or later, it strikes everybody. First day back killing. Oh, he said first day back killing trees since December. Fuck those trees. Hab said people are too confident in BSD, bro. I agree. I don't like. I mean, he just. I get it. Dustin Poirier is fucking 35 years old, and you know, he's not Dustin Poirier from 2 years ago, but like he's not fighting fucking. Let's see. Like, he's not Matt Frovola. You know what I mean? It's a huge thing. He's 13-1. His only loss came on when he was on short notice, and he fought up a weight class to that fucking Dos Santos guy. But BSD's last 3 fights were Frovola, Thiago Moises, and Bonfim. I mean, Dustin Poirier is a whole nother animal. Like, it also wouldn't surprise me if he ends Dustin Poirier's career. You know what I'm saying? That also wouldn't surprise me. Because honestly, I do think if Dustin loses, especially if he gets stopped, he probably should retire. You know, I mean, other than hold an undisputed title, he's done everything he needs to do in this sport. So, I mean, how could he not be one of your favorite fighters? If you've never seen Dustin Poirier versus fucking, oh, I'm having a fucking brain fart right now. What is it? One of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Dan Hooker. Dustin Poirier against Dan Hooker. I just watched it Saturday night after UFC 87, Fight Night 87. It is like, I've probably seen it 3-4 times, and it's just as good every fucking time I watch it. Paku said, my gym is too clean. Don't say that, dude. I don't give a fuck if Mr. Clean lives at your gym. The shit just happens. I'm telling you. It just fucking, like, it happens to everybody. He said, if you come in with the slightest cut or anything, you get sent home. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is at my gym, too. As soon as we fucking, the second we're done, we clean the mats, all that good shit. It's just like, it's fucking bacteria. You can't see it until it's too late. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't itch or anything. Now I can't focus on this fucking stream because that's all I'm going to be worried about. And Poirier got that dog in him. He does got that dog in him. I mean, no one's got the dog in him like Poirier. no one has more heart than Dustin Poirier. There's quite a few guys that have, the capability of Dustin Poirier to leave it all in the cage like he does, but no one has more heart than him. You can't. You would, he would literally die in the cage. Yeah, see, that's another thing too. Like his experience, Dustin Poirier's experience it's beneficial, but I think it's more of a hindrance at this point because he has been in so many wars. Like your brain only takes so much fucking damage before it just decides to shut down on you, and it's completely plausible that he gets hit with a shot that 4 years ago he would have just ate and it puts his fucking lights out, Hap said, I was worried for Dustin, but then I found out that BSD has only been fighting for 5 years. That is so crazy. I mean, that is crazy. And I was counting it against BSD because initially when he first came on the scene, everybody made it sound like he was currently in the French Special Forces. And I counted that against Tim Kennedy. Like when Tim Kennedy was at his very best, I think he could have been the champ if he wasn't currently training as a fucking, I know he wasn't a Navy SEAL, but whatever the fuck he was, Army Ranger, whatever. Because it's like there was just like this 1% of his brain that he couldn't 100% dedicate to MMA. But that's not the case with Benoit Saint-Denis. He's not currently still in the military. He's 100% full-time fighter. So, I mean, 5 years compared to the storied career that Dustin Poirier had. Dustin Poirier's 29-8, but he's also 35 years old, and we know about the curse. UFC Casual said the link wouldn't work, but I finally found the channel. Well, fuck that link. I'm glad you found the channel, bro. Hopefully as soon as you fucking found it, you hit that subscribe button. I've been putting out some content lately. It's been a grind, dude. I'm like, unlike AJ, I got a full-time job, and I know he works out and shit, but then I train after work, and then I also have a family, so the time that I'm putting into YouTube now, like, I know it doesn't look like I'm putting out that much content, but like 80% of my time is spent learning how to do this shit, like learning about fucking lighting and microphones and camera angles and shit like that. So I'm trying. Give me 2 years, bro, and I'll have fucking... You'll be like, Guru who? We're watching the Jackal. No. All right. Over-the-counter treatment options for wingworm include all these fucking drugs that I can't say. People who don't see results within 3 or 4 weeks or who have widespread ringworm. People who don't see results within 3 to 4 fucking weeks. I always cut the shit off with a scalpel and go back to practice. Too Legit said, so well put. Poirier truly has proven to all the UFC fans, dude just does not quit or even slow down, really. He can go 15 rounds. Absolutely. It breaks my heart that he's never won an undisputed title, He deserves it so bad. It never fucking lined up for him. He was better than Conor, but he wasn't better than Khabib. And then Khabib left, and that was his fucking chance. There was his chance right then and there. That fucking Justin Gaethje fight was so 50-50 going into it. I really thought he was going to win that and then go get the fucking belt. Because I don't think Charles Oliveira scared him. It didn't scare me for Dustin anyway. Like, yeah, whatever. Hey, he could go out there, lay BSD the fuck out, and then go fight Islam. I don't know. I don't think he beats Islam, but hey, you never know. He said he does slow down, but he does have a ton of heart. Yeah, he slows down in the 4th round after he just fought a full fight plus a fucking round. And his boxing is so on point. Like, he is an excellent boxer for MMA. Munoz looks like he's getting bet down by the public. I might jump on the line if it gets any wider. Also might be a good live betting spot if Kyler wins the first. I heard you and AJ talking about it. I didn't even look at the Munoz line like before you and AJ brought it up on his live feed. What exactly are the... I know he's an underdog, but what's he at right now? Is he like plus 120? Brian Battle, I always, like, I faded him like twice and it bit me in the ass. I just know the first time I fucking bet on Brian Battle, I feel like he's going to lose. I don't know. There's something about his game I'm not confident in. I don't know what it is. I never like watched tape on Brian Battle, but every time I watch him fight, I feel like he's about to lose, and then he wins the fucking fight. Not like he's getting beat up. There's something about the way he fights that I don't like. I don't know about slowing down as far as a reason. Like, you're going to slow down because of fatigue. Who doesn't? He kind of keeps solid pace even in later rounds. But when he has gassed out, he fucking gasses out. I don't know. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to eat my words. But I can't think of a time where I'm like, oh, that's it. Dustin, he's gassed. He's done. You know, he doesn't have anything left. I mean, when he fought Khabib, but that's a different story. Like, it's not just that Khabib would outpace you. He would grind you down. And I'm sure it felt like you were getting big brothered in there. Obviously, I've never grappled with Khabib, but there's times where you're rolling with somebody and you just know, like, I don't have anything for this guy. And then you look and there's 5 minutes left in a 7-minute round and you're like, God damn. I'm sure that's what it felt. What it feels like to go with Khabib. On top of getting punched in the face, and then he's telling you, just give up. You know I deserve this. Just give up. UFC Casual says, do you train MMA? If not, what do you do? I don't train MMA specifically. Like, I don't go to an MMA gym. I train jiu-jitsu and judo and a little bit of boxing. I started doing a little bit of boxing with my my buddy from work. Like, I just started that. But I've been doing jiu-jitsu and judo simultaneously for just about 6 years now. And then before that, I did martial arts, like, when I was a little kid. My whole life, I've always done, like, I was in karate and shit. I wrestled in high school, and then after high school, like, from college to 27, 28, I really didn't do nothing as far as martial arts goes. But once I found jiu-jitsu, I fell in love. I've been doing it ever since. I think Gaethje fought Poirier. He just about threw up in the ring at the end. Dude, I just about threw up after when that fight was over. Them boys got the fuck after it. MMA Guru is a bit obnoxious. He's got nothing on originals like you, fam. Don't worry. Ha! I appreciate it. That's kind of why I gravitated to AJ. I don't know how I came across it, but I found Guru's channel. And I'm like, it's cool, but this dude's like talking mad shit on these fighters like he is somebody. Like, bro, you're just a douchebag in your basement, like, on YouTube. Why are you calling the... Why are you saying this guy's a bum because he just lost a unanimous decision? Like, he just fought for 15 straight fucking minutes in his underwear in front of the whole world. Who the fuck are you to call him a bum? And then I found AJ's channel, and he, like, didn't do that. He did everything Guru did. Like, he's like a... I don't want to say he's a copy, but he's very similar. Like, they even put out, like, similar types of videos and shit, like who they should fight next and whatnot. But he has more respect for the fighters, so I just respected him more. So I started following him all the time, and then one day my wife's like, "You should go on there and try it," and I'm like, "You know what? I should." UFC Casual says Guru has moments, but I definitely prefer smaller channels. Well, hopefully you're gonna have to unsubscribe to me one day when I got like 100,000 subscribers. Munoz is plus 180. Fuck. I might have to throw some money on that. I'm not big, like, I don't, unlike AJ's channel, I'm not big on like the betting predictions. I would feel like a fraud because there's guys like Paku out there who, put 40 hours a week into studying tape and, finding the lines and all the spots to fucking play and all that shit. But, so I don't usually bet like early in the week, Friday nights or whatever. I'll go through and play some bets just to make the fights more enjoyable to watch. Nate Brown said he's 5-1 in the UFC with 3 finishes, and he's fighting a guy that fought tooth and nail with Ryan McKee. Paco, I see plus 205 for Pedro. Ton of value, especially assuming this goes later. Yeah. Dude, plus 200 for Pedro. I would jump all over that. I'm a fan of Dustin Poirier, but been expecting his chin to crack. It ain't gonna last forever. I mean, no fighter lasts forever. That's the sad part about this sport. Like, if you're a fan of a sports team, and your star quarterback ages out, they just draft a new one, If you're a fucking hardcore fan of a particular fighter, it's just a sad day when that dude gets knocked the fuck out. And there's nothing you can do about it, and it happens to everybody. Every single fighter you will ever be a fan of will get his ass beat one day. Unless he retires before that happens, If your favorite fighter of all time was Khabib and the dude just went out and called it quits when he was on the top of the mountain, but 99.9% of guys don't have that discipline. They can't handle everyone talking shit, saying, "Oh, you're just quitting because you're ducking this guy or ducking that." Like, that's not the case with fucking Khabib. He hung it up on top because it was the smart thing to do. He said he promised his mom or whatever, and he's got the discipline and the willpower to not give a fuck what everyone else thinks. And he has enough going on in his life besides fighting. Like, that's not his identity. For a lot of these guys, that's what they are. A lot of them come from less than great circumstances. They've had fucked up lives. It was MMA that got them out of the gutter. That's what they've always identified as, is like, if someone asks, who are you? What do you do? They're like, well, I'm an MMA fighter. And then just to quit, just to not do that anymore, is, especially if they like want to. A lot of them, you don't have time to be, setting up businesses on the side and, working on all these other, streams of revenue. That's their whole fucking life. And then one day they go into the cage and they get knocked out. They're like, oh, fuck, dude, I got to get back in the gym. Then they get knocked out again. And then it happens again. The next thing you know, their career is over. They don't know what the fuck to do. It's not an easy life being an MMA fighter. I wouldn't want to do it. That's for sure. UFC Casual said, nice, I'm starting kickboxing on the 11th. Fuck yeah, dude. I see here you said something else. And I did a tiny bit of karate when I was 10, but only got to my orange belt. Well, martial arts is... I've never met somebody who like seriously started doing martial arts and was like, you know what? That sucked. I'm so glad I quit going to jiu-jitsu, or I'm so glad I quit kickboxing. You don't hear people say that. You hear people say, oh, it saved my life. Starting MMA saved my life. Or doing judo is the best thing that ever happened to me. It teaches you discipline. You have to overcome shit in the gym that makes your everyday life seem easier. It's fucking great all around. I don't have anything bad to say about martial arts other than if you're doing a striking art, be cognizant of brain damage, obviously, you know. Make sure if you go to a gym, it's not like there's different types of gyms out there in grappling and in striking, you know. There's some ruthless gyms that are just trying to produce the next up and coming star, and they're just going to chew through everyone who walks through that door. If you're not it, you're just going to get chewed up and spit out, and they're going to put you in the ring with some young 23-year-old dude who, you know, has some bullshit part-time job he doesn't care about and is just trying to hurt people because he wants to be a professional fighter. Then there's other gyms where guys just want to learn how to do the martial art and practice it with other people in a safe way, you know, where they can all go home in one piece and go to work tomorrow. You know, that's the kind of place you got to find. Nate said, if you're going to train, just remember to take 30 minutes every day to stretch. Range of motion is way more important than most people realize if you don't train at all. Yeah, that's a fact, dude. I stretch every day. I actually work construction too, so my helper makes fun of me, but I fucking stretch in the morning before work, and then a lot of times, like if tonight Moneyline will be on, it starts at 11 or whatever, so I'll get I used to have them hanging up here, but I'll get like my really light resistance bands out and stretch my shoulders and knees and all that good stuff. Just keep the joints lubricated. Pneumonia said, pretty much any other over-the-counter antifungal cream. Apple cider vinegar and some homemade garlic paste is the best home remedies, according to my quick Google search. But yeah, 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, just looking at it through the camera, I'm not going to be able to go to my fucking gym tomorrow, dude. This sucks dick. Like I said, I just got back. Fuck. Alright, whatever. I got my ass handed to me the last 2 weeks, though. Doesn't matter how much studying you do, you can still be shafted. Long-term ROI is what's most important, though. Big week for Paku this week. Yeah, fuck yeah, Paku. Big week this week, brother. I hope you fucking smash it. Is my stream skipping or something? Or, like, is my internet getting... Like, usually my internet is fucking bomb. Casual said, I spoke to the owner and he told me to leave the ego at the door or I'd be thrown out fast. Faster than I could apologize. Dude, we got this... we got this white belt at my gym. We call him Ego Jesus because he kind of looks like Jesus, and dude's got like... I mean, at first you're like, all right, the dude's just fucking spazzy. That's fine. Like, he'll learn, you know, just be careful around him. And he's had several, like, high-ranking guys tell him, hey, like, Like, just calm down, just calm down. But the second you start to like advance position or do anything positive for yourself, you could tell he like starts to fucking tense up and like spazzing out. And like I said, dude, I've just came back after the worst injury of my whole fucking life. This is last week Friday, and I felt him like start to spaz out, and the only way I could protect myself was like to put his ass down. So I basically did like it would be like an Osoto Gari, but from the ground. I basically had to fucking like choke slam this kid onto the mat and fucking pin him down and hold him down for my own safety. But he's getting to the point where it's like too dangerous for other people to train with. The one dude, he trains with his girlfriend. She comes in like twice a month. You know, she's a casual, and he was fucking beating the bricks off her like they were in the 80cc finals or some shit. Like, bro, chill the fuck out. A lot of it are like younger guys too. You'll see like, you know, some jack 23-year-old dude who's thought his whole life that because he's like in super good shape that he's good at fighting, and then he finds out that there's this computer nerd like with a little bit of a belly, and he just beat the fuck out of him, and he can't handle that, you know. You want to know, do you train to fight or just for fitness and mental strength? Yeah, 90% just staying fit, being able to handle myself. But I do compete in like local tournaments. Too Legit says, I'm confused. He spazzes? Like he's gonna hurt you and he can't control his anger? Not his anger, just his movements. Like when you don't know how to fight, which is most people, you do spastic movements. Like there's certain things that you're like certain reactions. If I grab you like this, you're supposed to do this. Like there's a way you fight, you know? And when you don't know how to do that, you're uncoordinated for one. You don't know how to control your own body weight, and you're just spastic. You don't know what the next thing you're going to do is because you don't know what to do. So you spaz out, we call it. They just freak out. It would be like if someone's holding you on the ground and you don't know proper technique on how to get up, you're just going to start moving around and flailing until you can create some distance and get away because you don't know the proper technique to create distance. And that's what spazzing out is. Like, you just freak out. Or a lot of times what will happen is you'll be going with a less experienced guy and you'll give him some stuff, you know? I'll be like, all right, I'll purposely like put myself in a bad position, and I'm hoping that he does the proper thing. Like, he's not protecting his arm right now. I can get an arm bar, and instead of like, you know, grabbing the arm bar and doing the whatever steps necessary to finish it, he'll just like grab your arm and fucking try to rip it off because he sees a submission. Or if you leave your neck out there, instead of like sliding in the choke the way you're supposed to, he'll just fucking grab your neck and start fucking cranking on it, like just being a spaz. It's not, like I said, it's not anger. I've never seen, I have seen guys get angry, but the only people I've ever seen that ever got angry in training are either experienced people who are dealing with a new spazzy person and they hurt them or something, or someone with a big enough ego that they're never going to come back. Like, if you have two reactions when you get beat up. You're like, holy shit, I need to learn this because that was fucking awesome. I just got my ass kicked by people that I never would have thought would have been able to kick my ass, and you can't wait to come back and learn it, or you're like, fuck that, and you just never show up again. Paku said, I had an 18-year-old guy try to take my head off in 4-ounce MMA gloves Saturday. Oh, Jesus. I was wearing 1-ounce gloves. He didn't know I was a high-level boxer. He had to humble him. And touch him up. Some young guys are idiots. 100%, dude. Actually, this kid he was probably the spazziest dude I've ever trained with, but I shouldn't say. He still trains today, and I really like him. Like he's come a long way. He was super young, and a little like immature even for his young age, and he was like a fucking stray dog on a leash. Like you'd put a hand on this kid, and he would just freak the fuck out, and then after his first day, I'm like, we'll never see this kid again. He's fucking out of his mind. And he kept showing up, and then I got hurt, and I was out for a few months, and I just came back, and he, like, leveled up. He's doing great. He's, like, not spazzy at all. I watched him roll with a brand new person, and he didn't, like, freak out. A lot of times, you've been getting your ass beat for the last 6 months every fucking day, and now you know, like, this much, but that's all it takes to beat somebody who doesn't know anything. So like a brand new guy will come in, and like the white belts will fucking try to eat him alive. But he didn't. He went with the new guy, and he was chill. I was proud of him. Do you watch any Muay Thai? Yes, I do watch Muay Thai. Like not the way I watch MMA, but if it's on, especially like the fact they have Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves, I'll watch the fuck out of that. Dude, Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves is... Or, what's that other shit? So Muay Thai is from Thailand, and then they had that other martial art from, is it Burma? It's one of those countries, Lethwei. That's not the country, that's the martial art. But it's basically like bare knuckle Muay Thai, except they have headbutts too. And they like, you get knocked out cold and they fucking revive you. It's good. Horrible. Like the worst sport ever for fucking brain damage. But that is some crazy shit. Some crazy shit to watch. I wish I would have when I was like a little kid, probably like 9 and 10, I watched, I don't know if it was The Kickboxer or something. I watched some movie and they were like Muay Thai training. And I wanted to do it so bad. Like, I would go down in the basement and fucking hit the bags. I remember specifically tying a bandana around my head because they would have that fucking headgear thing. I tied a bandana around my head and I put ace bandages on my hands. And I was like in my basement fucking doing the stupid dance thing and then like hitting the bag. I wish I would have told my parents I wanted to start Muay Thai like back then. Now, could you imagine that? I'd have like 20 fucking years of Muay Thai. That's probably how I found out about it too, through Joe Rogan. He had that fucking Canadian dude who's like the champion of that shit on the channel. Any exciting women's MMA fights coming up you guys want to talk about? I'm just kidding, Paco. I'm just busting your balls, broski. How's that fucking Bill shirt fit, though? I bet you can't wait for September. Be fucking rocking your Bill shirt at 3 o'clock in the morning when the games are on or whatever time it is for you. What the fuck else? I had when I decided I was going to go live, I wrote some shit down that I want to talk about, but I can't remember it. I'm so fucking excited for $2.99. Peter Yan and Song Yadong. I don't know. I give Yadong a better chance than a lot of people are giving him, I guess, but I'm a softie when it comes to that shit. I'm always like, oh, everybody has a chance. That's a good one because I didn't watch. I mean, I had the fight on, but I didn't watch it super closely. But I know a lot of people were saying that Ngannou beat Fury. So if that's the case, I personally think Fury beats the shit out of AJ. And if Ngannou is good enough to maybe beat Fury, then maybe Ngannou does beat AJ. How about you? What do you think the chances of Ngannou ever fighting MMA are if he either beats or has a really good close fight with AJ? I think if he has a good close fight with AJ, we'll never see him fight MMA again. I mean, why? Why fight this? Why partake in this other martial art that you originally didn't want to do to begin with? You always wanted to be a boxer. And now you are at the highest level making fucking stupid money. You don't have to worry about getting taken down and strangled and all this shit. I think he just stays a boxer forever and tells PFL to fuck off. I think Fury was a better matchup for Ngannou because he's awkward like MMA fighters. But AJ is very good at using his fundamentals. See, I don't know the fundamentals of boxing like that. You know what I mean? I know the difference between a fighter and a boxer, like watching a boxing match. But when it comes to AJ specifically, Paku said AJ should make it look easy. He's a harder matchup than Fury. For Francis. Well, I'll take your guys' word for it. You both said the exact same thing. Then Hap totally disagrees. Francis has an iron chin while AJ has a glass jaw. He will be skittish. What time is that on? I know it's Friday. It's not Saturday. But as far as like my time goes, is that on like Friday night? It would really suck if it was on at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. I don't think AJ goes back to MMA. You mean Ngannou? Only thing I worry about how will he be mentally when he steps out there? The pure boxing and athleticism of Joshua will be too much. So, other than Hap, nobody's giving fucking Ngannou a chance in hell, huh? I've watched Joshua for a while. He will not make Ngannou look easy. I do believe he wins, but I think that even though AJ is very skilled, he will be scared of the power. And he has a glass jaw. I think AJ finishes him, but I don't think AJ finishes him, but I'm not willing to put my house on him. Dude, how about that fucking... What was that guy's? That Oliveira, Vinicius Oliveira versus Bernardo Sopaj? Sopa, however the fuck you say his name. That poor kid, he was so tough, and he did not need to take the knockout the way he did. Oh my God. That might be the knockout of the year so far. I mean, in my book, it is. That fucking flying knee. That poor kid. The fight was already over. He lost. Like, there's... Oh, and then he just eats that fucking knee. He might never be the same again. He might never be the same person, let alone fighter. Pacu had it in his notes, Vinicius money line, and I didn't bet it, bro. I ate shit this week, dude. I fucking I had a lot of year bets, and then I did the greasy four-legger from our boy Uncle Wheezy. Dude, not a fucking thing hit. But that's okay. UFC 299 where it's at. I felt bad for that dude. How could you not? I mean, the dude left it all out in the cage. He was just outmatched. Oliveira was just a step above. You know, he was just a flat out better fighter than me. He took the short on fight note. He took the short. He took the fight on short notice, and then he just gets sent to the fucking land of wind and ghosts. Like, poor kid. Andrew said, "Are you all right?" I don't know. Define all right. It's been a long fucking day, dude. Like I said, this shit's a grind for me. Spartacus Senior. Honestly, the sandwich was not that great. So Spartacus Senior, if you don't know, that's my pops, and he's referencing the fact that my wife made him lasagna, and then I had to eat some bullshit sandwich for dinner. It was gross. It was like steakum meat. Sorry, I was just trying to be honest. I love you. But there's more leftover lasagna that I'm going to eat after. Hab said, I believe that Joshua will have a Whitaker Gastelum-like performance against Ngannou, outstriking him handedly, but Ngannou will stay tough. Also, Pops, Pacu got his Bills jersey today. Pacu said, I kill on pay-per-views. I'm betting a few more units this week. Extra study. Let's go. Go get him. Yeah, I'll put away, I don't know. I don't bet that much. I bet like $100 is like my max for MMA betting. He said, what just happened? Somebody got killed. I was talking shit about my wife's steakum sandwich that she made. So now I'm in trouble. John Dong. See, I like questions like this. Like, it's so hard to pick, at least for me, like, what's going to happen next Saturday. Well, who fucking knows? Unless you're Pacu, he knows because he studies tape 50 hours a week. But for me, it's like, I don't know. After they happen, I can analyze the mistakes the guys made, the technique they used, and stuff like that. But it's hard for me to like predict fights, I guess. It's not my bag. Anyway, John Dong wants to know, what do you think was the worst injury in MMA? Well, obviously, we got Conor versus Dustin, his leg breaking. Anderson Silva, his leg breaking. And then Tim Sylvia getting his arm snapped in half by, what's his face? I don't know. I know Tim Sylvia has had, like, to this day, he deals with problems from that arm break. I don't know how Anderson Silva has healed up, but yeah, those would probably be my top three I'm thinking of right now. Would be the 2 leg breaks and then Tim Sylvia getting his arm snapped. Do you think Usman and Volk will ever get their belts back? No. So I've been saying it for a long time that I believe 2024 is going to be the year of the changing of the guard. I think there's going to be a lot of guys like the Dustins, the Usmans, the Volks, Izzy. I put Izzy in that same category. I think all these guys, they've been on top for the past 3, 4, 5 years now, and there's all these up and coming fighters coming on. I don't think that guys like, who did you said Usman and Volk. Definitely not Usman and Volk either. To be honest with you, I don't think Izzy ever holds the strap again. I think there is, like, you have that certain, every once in a while there's like a 1 or 2 year period where there's like this big shift in MMA and like everything flops over. It was, a big one was in like 2016 when Conor came in and started to take over the UFC and all the like the Ronda Rousey type fighters, and you'll have your staples that hold on, like Cowboy Cerrone. He fought through like 2 different generations of MMA, but I think guys like Usman, Volk, Izzy, Whitaker, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, like just that whole crowd of guys. I think they're on the way out, and Taporia and like Umar Namaga. No. You know who I'm trying to talk about. Umar and all those guys are just, they're going to be taking up the reins, and Volk will just be somebody that in 3, 4 years, you'll be telling some young guy who just started watching MMA about how great Volk was in his prime, and he'll be like, yeah, whatever. It's like now when I talk about BJ Penn or guys like that, like fans who've only been watching MMA for a few years they're like, BJ Penn, he lost his last like 6 foot. What are you talking about? The dude's a bum. But when he was in his prime, he was the fucking man. Oh, yeah. Paku, you're right. The MVP skull fracture against the cyborg, the dude cyborg. That was brutal. He literally caved his skull in. That probably takes the cake for worst MMA injury. If y'all had a good thing going but had a chance to make something work with an opportunity of a lifetime.
I was trying to reply to a comment and I deleted Andrew. He said to make me breakfast. The dog jumped on me.
All right, beat it. What are you trying to say?
But I didn't mean to, but that was a good idea.
Okay.
Don't tell me to beat it.
If y'all had a good thing going but had a chance to make something work with an opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah, you're taking the leap of faith. I mean, it's easy for people to say because they're not accruing the risk, but you only live once, bro. It's not too often you meet an old timer who's like, you know what I wish I didn't do? I wish I didn't take I wish I didn't take so many risks in my life. Like, no, they're always like, I wish I would have, or I'm so glad I did. That's why it's a risk, because it's not guaranteed. And it's easy for people on the outside to say, oh yeah, go for it, because they're not the ones who are going to have that other door close on them, you know? But you got to go for it. For me, this is kind of like, I mean, I'm not really taking a risk by doing this. I'm just piling on to shit I already have. But I know I want something different for myself. So you have to go get it, you know? And if you have an opportunity in front of you, the best time to take the opportunity is when you have it. So if whatever door closes, if those people can't understand that you were doing what you thought was the best thing for you to do, well then screw them, you know? But yeah, take the risk, bro. Take the risk. Sandhagen heel hooking Dillashaw was pretty nasty. Yeah, yeah, I don't know how Dillashaw fought for the next 20 minutes with the torn knee. I mean, adrenaline, and I'm sure Dillashaw had a few Mexican supplements running through his system at the time. But watching as someone who has suffered knee injuries, like anytime somebody gets like in a knee bar or a heel hook or something like that, and then you see the knee pop, it literally makes me like get sick to my stomach. I literally like cringe at the thought of. I don't know if you guys watch Pure Grappling, but Craig Jones was grappling against. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to think of the guy's name right now. Anyway, he had a fully locked in heel hook past the knee line, like it wasn't going anywhere. He had time. Craig Jones had time to talk to this dude, and he was like, literally asked him like, do you want me to keep going? You want to keep doing this? And the guy didn't say nothing. He just kept trying to fight through. So he destroyed his knee, just exploded his knee. And then Craig Jones still had the heel hook, and he tells him, like, yo, your knee just exploded. Like, your leg's broke. Do you want to keep going? Your leg is broken. And the guy ended up escaping the submission because as he was putting on the heel hook, there were no more ligaments or tendons in the dude's knee to provide resistance against the heel hook. So the heel literally just slipped out of Craig Jones's arm, and that's how the guy got out. And then he like went to stand or something and just fell down and was like, all right, I quit. But he just chose a catastrophic, probably career ending, if definitely career changing, if not ending injury for like some, you know, BS jiu-jitsu match. I mean, it wasn't even like the IBJJF gold medal finals or ADCC, or it was like, you know, some bullshit on Fight Pass or something. I can't think of the guy's name. It's some obscure jiu-jitsu athlete. A Brazilian dude. UFC Casual said the new generation takeover. For sure. But that new generation will be the old generation. Like, I remember, I don't know if there's any old dudes in here, but the WEC was on the Versus cable TV, and to go along with the WEC, they had a TV show, and it was just like Fight Pass is like Looking for a Fighter or whatever Dana White does now, except it was the crew from Tap Out, like the clothing brand, and these guys like dressed up in costumes and shit. There was a guy with a giant afro named Skyscraper, and then the other dude who started Tap Out wore he like wore like a bandana and shit. I forget his name. There was like a short guy who wore a big bandana. Yeah, no, the other guy didn't wear a bandana. He painted his face. Anyway, Those three dudes had a TV show on Versus. This is like early 2000s. And they would go to local MMA shows and they would look for fighters. And one of the fighters they found was Donald Cowboy Cerrone. That's how he got his start in WEC. He was on this TV show. And they went to some local fight and he beat the shit out of the dude and he was wearing his cowboy hat. And he didn't even have proper like MMA shorts. He had Muay Thai shorts on, but they were like in the they were like American flag design and they were all blood stained. So they took his blood stained Muay Thai shorts and they gave him to his grandma, and his grandma sewed him a pair of MMA shorts. Anyway, I say all that to say, like, back then when I started watching, Cowboy Cerrone was this young 19-year-old kid fighting on an Indian reservation somewhere, you know? And now he's retired, but he was like the old head of MMA. And it only had, like, in a decade, it's over. Like, it's a crazy sport like that because we don't have a team that regenerates itself, you know? All right, I'm behind in the chat a little bit. I'm just going to go right here. Hap said, I'd rather have my knee ripped like Dillashaw did a million times than have my leg break in half like Connor versus Weidman or Silva. So, believe it or not, sometimes like extensive ligament damage is like takes longer to heal and causes more problems than just like a broken bone. You know, there's sometimes you can, depending on the break, like if it's a spiral fracture and your bone fragments and shit, then you're fucked. But if it's a clean break and they can set it and your bone heals, that's better than having every ligament in your knee just ripped apart. Paku asked, did you watch Mikey Musumeci versus that Mongolian dude? Yeah, he ripped that Mongolian dude's knee apart. Yeah, that Mongolian dude tried to play it off like, oh no, I'm good. He's not, right. He is having reconstructive surgery, I guarantee it. Mikey Musumeci is such a weird dude. Like, I can't say I'm a fan of him. I respect his jiu-jitsu, but he's like, he posted this YouTube video defending butt scooting, and it just made me lose all respect for him. Casual says, I gotta go, but you seem like a cool dude. Well, thanks, bro. Turns out I am a cool fucking dude. But no, I'm just kidding. I appreciate it, man. I hope you liked the chat and you subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one. Hap said, there aren't the ones taking the risk, but I think I might take the advice and just bite the bullet. Let's go. Like I said, dude, I can't think of a single time I've ever talked to anyone and they mentioned how they wish they didn't take the risk, you know? Not to say it doesn't happen. I'm sure people take risks, they regret it, and they just don't talk about it. You know, you're more likely to talk about things that turn out good than you are talk about, you know, a bad decision you made. But if you have an opportunity now, you're not going to regret not, how can I say? You don't want to regret not taking the opportunity because you never get that back. You know what I mean? If you do take the opportunity and it turns to shit, well, you tried, you know? At least you don't have anything to look back on and say, well, I wish I would have. I hate it when people respect the guy who didn't tap. What's there to respect when a guy gets destroys their career like that. Yeah, I 100%. As someone, as a low-level jiu-jitsu practitioner, I don't feel any less respect for somebody after they tap. Like, I guess that's like some old school, Brazilian shit, like the old school Gracies, Henzo and that. Those guys would never tap. But that was a different world back then too. They're also they're trying to promote an entire martial art. If there was a fight in Pride where this Japanese fighter named Kazushi Sakuraba purposely allowed Renzo Gracie to get a body lock on him from behind just so he could get a Kimura grip on Renzo Gracie's arm. And then he used that Kimura grip to escape the body lock, took him all the way to the mat with the Kimura, and then broke Renzo's arm with it. And it caused the spiral fracture in his elbow and dislocated his shoulder, and I just completely destroyed his arm. Not only did Renzo Gracie not tap, he wanted to continue the fight. It was actually his corner that stopped it. Ironically enough, the move, the Kimura, is not, it's called the Kimura because the Brazilians started calling that move the Kimura after a judo fighter broke Elio Gracie's arm in the 1930s with it in a Vale Tudo match, which was like no holds barred. It's basically like MMA back in the turn of the last century. There's a lot of myth out there about jiu-jitsu and its origins and Elio Gracie. The myth, they try to make it sound like Elio Gracie was this frail, feeble little guy who stood up to this big, mean bully, Kimura, and didn't stand a chance. And it was just a win that he fought him for 30 or 40 minutes or however long they fought. The fact that he even stepped in there with the guy was a win, when that was not the case whatsoever. Elio Gracie was a full-blown professional fighter at the time who weighed about 175 pounds, 170, something like that. Kimura was a 200-pound judo fighter, but they knew, it's not like Elio was this feeble little guy. He was a professional fighter. Also, when they came in the arena, they brought a casket into the arena and they had an effigy, like a fake stuffed Kimura, in the casket. And they're chanting whatever that is that Brazilians chant, like, "We're gonna murder you," or I don't know what the chant is. And then he ended up beating Elio, and they spun this whole tale that Elio was too small to even practice jiu-jitsu, so he used to watch, and that's how he got so good at it, was just by watching his older brother Carlos and all that shit. I could go on and on about this. I educated myself on jiu-jitsu and the origins, and then I read a book by Robert Drysdale, and it just basically told me everything I learned about jiu-jitsu was kind of a bullshit marketing tactic, I mean, it's a real martial art. It fucking works. I practice it. But when UFC 1 started, it was literally designed for Rorion Gracie to spread the art, He was going to put his brother in there knowing that he's going to beat everyone. Opinions on that chubby kid in jiu-jitsu who rips subs like knee bars and heel hooks, like F that guy. Yeah, my opinion is F that guy. That dude needs to get matched up with Nicky Rod and get his fucking knee ripped apart. I seen that dude. He's a fucking piece of shit. Like, I can't believe that some of the submissions I've seen him ripped, I can't believe that somebody's coach didn't run out there and just punch him right in the face. Like, he deserves to get his ass beat. Like not just in jiu-jitsu, like he deserves to get his nose broken. That's the kid's name. Pat Shagaloni. What the fuck is that? Shagoli? Well, fuck that guy. Yeah, if people defend that kid, then fuck them too. Andrew said, by the way, hi. And I'm sorry to unsubscribe to you late last night. I was not myself and I was Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you did unsubscribe to me. Were you mad at me? The Kimura is Americana, right? Well, it would be the other way around. The Americana is a form of a Kimura. A Kimura is just a grip, basically. I can't do it because I only have 2 arms. But imagine this is my opponent's arm. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to grab my opponent's wrist. Then with my other hand, this is going to be the hard part to show, is I am going to go under or over their arm and then grab my own wrist. All right? It's in catch wrestling, it's called the double wrist lock. It's a grip. It's a form of a grip that goes back to ancient Greece. I mean, even the most advanced heel hooks, all this shit we're doing in fighting was all done before. None of this shit is new. All the stuff that John Danaher has, invented, and he will admit it, he hasn't invented anything. There's illustrations of Greek pankration fighters. Pankration was MMA back in the original Olympics, and it was the most popular Olympic sport. It was done naked and greased, which is whatever. They're Greek. They like to do everything naked. But their most popular athletes in all of Greece were their pankration athletes, which were their MMA fighters. And there was huge libraries of all the winners that go all the way back to the original Olympics, and all that information was lost when they burned the Library of Alexandria. Anyway, I'm going down a fucking rabbit hole. Sorry, guys. I say all that to say, none of the techniques we are doing. There's illustrations of ancient Greek fighters doing inside heel hooks, outside heel hooks, inverting, doing eminari rolls. Like it shows them inverting onto their shoulders and rolling underneath opponents to do leg locks. So when I say the Kimura, a lot of people equate that with the finish of the hold. The Kimura is just a way that I can grab your arm, and it gives me control of your arm. It gives me such good control of your arm that if I can pin the rest of your body down and keep it from moving, that I could literally break your arm off your body. That's all a Kimura is. An Americana is just a form of a Kimura when your opponent is laying flat on their back, you're in cross side control, and you reach over, grab a Kimura grip, and start to bend their arm up. That is just, all these names like Americana, that's just what I forget the guy who it was, but there was an American who went down to Brazil, and he was a catch wrestler. And catch wrestling is just wrestling like we know it, except there's submissions in there, a lot of joint locks. And this dude was Kimura-ing everybody, doing the Kimura from side control. Karl Gotch, I think it was. If anyone knows this information, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it was Karl Gotch. And he went down to Brazil and he started Kimura-ing dudes. And they started calling that the American. And it got translated to the Americana. But it's all just the same Juje Kutemi. 1 second, actually. The Kimura is a uregarami, is the original Japanese name for it. Like, in the newspaper articles, when Kimura fought Elio Gracie, it said that he broke his arm with an uregarami. And then they started calling it the Kimura. I did not, Paku, I did not see the Marigali match. Yeah, I did hear. I was literally dozing off in my bed, falling asleep when, what's his name from B Team? It's late at night. Forget. That's how I know I'm getting tired. I'm fucking forgetting names. But when Craig Jones was talking about Marigali's match and like saying how he looked like shit, you could tell by the way he was saying that Marigali looked like an absolute killer. When you get somebody with extreme discipline and they're susceptible to being coached, and you pair them up with a mastermind like John Danaher, you're going to create some monsters. I don't think there's a lot of people who can handle John Danaher, which is why guys like Craig Jones and Nicky Rod and all them, I think a big part of that leaving is because it was so regimented. John and New Wave, those guys, you know, the Danaher Death Squad, they train 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Their off days are just light days, and they don't miss no matter what, and they just go and go and go, and that's like they are just consumed by it. And I think Craig Jones and those guys wanted a little bit of their own life. There's also something personal that happened between Gordon and Nicky Ryan, and they say that like, oh well, we sided with Nicky Ryan, but I think that they saw that Gordon was the greatest jiu-jitsu athlete there is, and John is going to devote as much time as he needs to them, and they're like, you know what, we can go do our own thing. I don't think the guys at B Team will ever be able to beat like John and someone like Gordon Ryan. And I'm glad now that he's taken a step back, that someone like Marigali is stepping up into that spot. Hap is giving Paku his flowers for watching so many combat sports. He does, dude. For a boxer, this dude, he knows Nicholas Marigali. Like, good on you, bro. That's awesome. I am also like a huge combat sports dork myself. Andrew was about to give up on MMA, but now we're all right. If you don't mind me asking, why were you going to give up on MMA? Paku says, I watch every single combat sports event available. I love it. Jiu-jitsu, MMA, K1, karate, kickboxing, American wrestling, local, regional, all of it. Yeah, dude, I love it all myself. John Smith asks Paku if he's going to watch Olympic boxing. I mean, yes. Of course. I'll be watching Olympic boxing. I'll be watching judo. What sucks is in 2008, like, judo is hundreds of years old. It was started by this guy, Jigoro Kano. And anyway, it was everything you think of judo now with all the throws and stuff, but also wrestling. You could also just double leg a guy. And in 2008, they took away all the leg techniques. Every single technique that was designed to take a person down by grabbing their legs, they got rid of all of them. Like, it's half the sport. I don't know, it's just mind-blowing to me. That's actually why that oh fuck, see, this is why I hate doing these live feeds late at night. Now I can't think of who is the great judo fighter in MMA. Someone will remember. Karo Parisian. That is why Karo Parisian got into mixed martial arts. Same with the Georgian fighter, Dvalishvili. The reason he started training MMA is because he had, this is Dvalishvili, he had aspirations of being in the Olympics for judo, and in 2008, they took away attacking the legs, and in judo and wrestling, like folk style, all that stuff, you need to know how to, like, you know, defend all the moves, but you only need one or two moves. You only need to be able to do one or two throws but you need to be able to do them so good that no one can stop them no matter what. Like, that's how it is in wrestling. Like, you can have a double leg, but like Jordan Burroughs can tell anyone on the planet, I'm going to double leg you. And you can't stop it. There's just nothing you can do about it. So I say that to say that Dvalishvili wanted to be an Olympic judoka, but they got rid of the leg techniques, and his like 2 or 3 best moves were all leg techniques. So he knew that he didn't, and he was already in his late teens at this point, so he didn't have time to develop a whole new game. So that's how we got into MMA. So you can thank the Olympic Committee for that. Paku said, I'm not interested in judo at the Olympics. What? It's the funniest Olympic sport. Matches are usually over in seconds. Very entertaining. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that as I'm not interested in judo. Yeah, dude. Judo is beautiful. Like, it's called the gentle art, but it's not it's called the gentle way. It's not gentle. It's fucking violent. Like, it is. Grappling is made up of 2 parts. Taking someone down and controlling them once you get there. And as far as taking someone down, a big judo throw is like the most violent way you can do it. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Like a foot sweep, you hit somebody with like an ashigarami, and it looks effortless. Like, it looks like you were walking down the hall and I just tripped you and you fell over. But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. When it's done right, it's beautiful. It literally looks effortless. And that's what I love about it. And you're actually starting to see a lot of ashigaramis in nogi jiu-jitsu. John Danaher has really been developing them. Sorry guys, I've been getting off on tangents. I'm like way behind on chat here. Right now, my clock says it's like 9:40. We'll go to like 10 o'clock or so, if that's cool with you guys. I mean, even if it's not, I'm gonna get off and nothing you can do about it, because I'm a boss. Pops, are you still in here? I just want to know. My dad was in the chat earlier. CKB are leading the Togan Olympic team. They have some good fighters trained by Doug Vinny. I don't know what you're talking about, John Smith. Is that karate or? Hap said, a fight I want to see is O'Malley beat Haggerty or Rodtang in MMA. Rodtang is a beast. So curious how that would go. I would lean Haggerty and Rodtang, but man, that's fun. Yeah, I'd be curious to see too. I mean, O'Malley has, it's not karate, but it's like a very elusive striking style. You know, he likes to fight all the way out and then throw some big dynamic kick. Very, very exciting striker. UFC Casual says, I'm back. Glad you're back, bro. Oh my God. You said your dog just broke his foot jumping off the sofa. For one, what kind of dog is it? And is he okay? Is he all right? Andrew said, except WWE. I don't know what about WWE, but I don't get down with like that type of wrestling. Little Nova, good to see you, bro. Haven't seen you in a while. WWE can do attacking the leg. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, here you go. Robert Gerard wants to know, was Judo Gene LaBelle great or just a movie guy? No, absolutely not. He was 100% legit as fuck. And he really did teach Bruce Lee his grappling. Like everything Bruce Lee knew about grappling, he learned from Judo Gene LaBelle. I believe Gene LaBelle was an Olympic alternate, or he might have even been on the Olympic team, but he was legit as it comes. I heard Gene was legit, but he was a jerk off. He was mean, like he only wanted to like really train guys who had the potential to be world class. So if you came in there and you were like, you just wanted to like learn how to train is like something fun to do, he would hurt you. It was a different time though too. Like, in fact, my judo sensei was telling me that back in like the 50s and 60s, judo was huge in the United States. Like there were judo schools all over. It was really popular. And then in the 80s, like with the Karate Kid, there was a huge craze in karate. And like everyone, and not just the Karate Kid, but Bruce Lee, and in the 70s, and then in the 80s, all the karate movies and stuff. So people got away from like grappling arts. And in fact, they equate judo with the striking art. Like everyone, if I tell anyone, any normie, that I do judo, the first thing they say is, oh, judo chop. And I'm like, there's no chopping in judo, but whatever. Casual wants to know, is judo the sport where they throw each other? Yes, that is correct. You can end the match immediately with a powerful, forceful throw where your opponent lands flat on his back. That immediately ends the match. Or you can keep going. In fact, there's the throwing the guy to the ground, and then there's newaza, which is fighting once you're on the ground. All jiu-jitsu is super advanced newaza. Newaza is just ground fighting. In judo, you can hold someone down and pin them for a win. You have to hold them, it's not 3 seconds, you have to hold them down for like 20 seconds, or you can strangle them. But fighting on the ground in judo is called newaza, and that's what Brazilian jiu-jitsu is. It was just the um, Gracie brothers, Carlos and Elio Gracie, developed newaza. Like they were taught judo from the guy with I can't. I can see the picture of him, and his name starts with an M. I can't think of his name, but anyway, the Gracie brothers were taught judo, and then Elio really took and ran with the newaza, the ground fighting part of it. Don Fry had a black belt in judo, also to go with Greco-Roman. Don was awesome. So Greco-Roman is just judo without the gi. Greco-Roman wrestling is just no gi judo. That's all it is. That's a good way to think of it. It's just all upper body throws, overhooks and underhooks and lateral drops, and that's my fucking jam. Lateral drops are my number one throw. The best athletes of every combat sport, in my opinion, based on skill, not accolades. So Hap's opinion, the best MMA fighter, John Jones. Boxing, Crawford. Jiu-Jitsu, Gordon Ryan. Wrestling, Cael Sanderson. Muay Thai, Rod Tang. So this is all time? You're saying the best athlete all time? John Jones? Okay, I can go with that. Boxing, the greatest boxer of all time. Oh, man. And you said not based on their whole career or on skill, not accolades. The greatest boxer of all time. I don't know. Like there was a point in time where, well, he had so many. I was gonna say somebody like Roberto Duran, but he had so many guys he could go with. Like Joe Louis, Joe Frazier. I don't know. I would have to think about that. Jiu-Jitsu, Gordon Ryan. Yeah, I would go Gordon Ryan or yeah, I'd have to go Gordon Ryan. And then Cael Sanderson. Cael Sanderson might have been the best collegiate wrestler, but all-time wrestler. How about that greatest wrestler of all time? Jordan Burroughs. I mean, you can make an argument for all. UFC Casual said, pretty sure Ronda Rousey did judo. Yes, Ronda Rousey was an Olympic judoka. So was her mother. And what's her name over in PFL is a 2-time Olympian. Kayla Harris. I actually moved around with Kayla Harris. She feels like a dude. So I did I think I mentioned this before, but we've had some guys come in for seminars and shit, and they'll bring their wives, and their wives are jiu-jitsu athletes and shit. And we had a guy come in, he brought his wife, and his wife was a high-level black belt jiu-jitsu athlete, and she weighed 140 pounds or something like that, but she felt like a girl. Like her wrists were skinny, and she wasn't strong. She was way better at jiu-jitsu than I am. But Kayla Harris, we didn't spar or anything. We just like moved around a little bit. In fact, she was showing me like a little thing on Ashi, and dude, she feels like a dude. She feels like it was like locking up with a man. There might be some TRT involved there, you know. Sanchai is the best Muay Thai fighter. I love watching Muay Thai, but I don't know enough to have an opinion. Robert Gerard. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of great stories about Judo Gene LaBelle. But yes, that dude was absolutely 100% legit as fuck. Did you guys know that wrestling was like huge in the United States back in the 1800s and shit? And every town had like their local awesome wrestler, and the guys from the town would get together and wrestle each other and shit. In fact, Abraham Lincoln was so good at wrestling, he would travel the country with a carnival. Like there would be traveling wrestling shows, like traveling carnivals. They would have different stuff, but one big part of it was always wrestling. And he would travel with this show and go from different towns all throughout all the different states into like Illinois, and he would challenge whoever was in that town to wrestle. There's also quite a few historians who think Abraham Lincoln was gay, but that's a story for another time. UFC Casual said Staffordshire Bull Terrier. He's at the vet with my parents. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I have 2 dogs now, and I've had pit bulls my whole life. My best dog I ever had was a pit bull. I hope he's okay, man. Robert Gerard said, a lot of those old school teachers of wrestling and other combat would seriously hurt people. Yeah, back then it wasn't like today where they want to like, oh, we hope, we hope you come back and we'll teach you. They're just like, if you're not tough enough to do this shit, then we're going to find out right now. And they would just hurt you and you would leave. Hap Chandler said, F Newaza. Wait, what do you got against Newaza? Little Nova said, I'm going to start going to a gym tomorrow for exercise. Hell yeah, dude. I'm 47 and thinking boxing, kickboxing, or karate. Does anyone have any opinions? Holy shit. Yeah, I got a lot of opinions, bro. Here's the biggest thing. When it comes to martial arts, the number one determining factor is if that martial art is bullshit or not, is whether or not they spar. If you go to a gym and you're learning any martial art, any techniques, and then you cannot practice those techniques at close to full speed against another opponent, then those techniques are bullshit. The bottom line, straight out. The baddest martial arts in the world, by bad I mean the most effective, are the ones that spar. So boxing, wrestling, kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, judo, all karate, some forms of karate. I don't know which ones they are, and because there's a million different kinds of karate, but if you're going to learn karate, you're going to want to make sure you go to a gym that spars regularly and hard, Now, with karate, a lot of the strikes, they will practice like just to the chest, and they call it point karate. So you're not trying to hurt someone, you're just trying to touch them. In fact, the last Olympics, the dude knocked the other guy out with a head kick and lost. The dude got knocked out, woke up, and had the gold medal or silver medal or whatever it was, because you aren't allowed to. They wanted to see that you could throw your strike with not just throw it with force, but with control. So like they want you to hit your opponent and pull back. I say all that to say, pick a martial art. It looks like you're leaning towards striking. So go to a boxing gym, feel it out. Make sure you're not walking into a gym of a bunch of 21-year-old killers and they're all trying to make the golden gloves and they all want to be pros and they're just going to chew you up and spit you out. Make sure you're going into a gym where guys want to train together, be good partners. We call them ukes in judo. Like you want a good uke who's going to take care of you and make sure you go home with all your fingers and toes and you can come back tomorrow and do it again. Same with any other kickboxing, Muay Thai. Now, being 47, a sport like karate or taekwondo, that's the kicks involved are very dynamic, you know? So it's going to take a long time to develop that dexterity. And at your age, you might be better off doing something like boxing or even Muay Thai, where the kicks are less dynamic, but more like to the, you're not trying to kick the guy in the head and do a spinning back kick. You're just trying to throw a short, powerful, low kick, or boxing where everything's in tight. You're not going to need a lot of dexterity. There's not a lot of crazy dynamic movement. Stuff like that. So yeah, that would be my opinion. Number one, pick a place that isn't filled with killers. You're 47 years old. You're not going to be world champion. I'm sorry to break it to you. But you can absolutely become a good martial artist, In 3 years, you'll be 50 and you'll have 3 years of a martial art under your belt. So just pick a place where people are willing to work with you. Everyone, seems cool. You'll be able to feel it right away, like if guys are standoffish. I've gone to gyms that were more competitive based, like traveling or just checking them out, like gyms around my area, and you just get the vibe, like people aren't introducing themselves and shaking your hand, they're just trying to they're sizing you up, and stay away. You got nothing to prove. You're 47, bro. You're good. You're a grown ass man. You don't got to prove anything to anybody. So I hope you keep us posted and let us know how it goes, though. I'd be really interested to find out if you found a good place. Best boxer has to be Mayweather if it's skill. Mayweather was maybe the best defensive boxer, but as far as all-around boxer, I wouldn't consider him the greatest of all time. What is the best striking fight in MMA in your opinion? For me, it's Corey Sandhagen versus Peter Yan. Jones Gustafson won. Back and forth fight might be, I would say, Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker would be one. As far as display of beautiful striking, I'd have to go with Max beating the fucking brakes off of Calvin Kattar for what was that? Was that 3 rounds? We landed like 400 significant strikes or some shit like that. Andrew said, that's cool. I didn't know that. Good point on the whole body. TKS. Hab Chandler said, can you go in depth? So, like I said, I'm a judoka, and a lot of, and this will happen in all martial arts. You'll have seminars, like where everyone from the gym in the local area will pull their money together. Say it costs $50 or $100 for the seminar, and they'll contact a high-level practitioner in that sport, and they'll have them come in to the gym and they show like a technique or something, and it usually lasts like 3-4 hours. So the local judo school, they had a seminar where Kayla Harris and came. Also, Travis Stevens came with Jimmy Pedro. That was fucking awesome. But she just did like a seminar. She showed a variation of Osoto Gari, which is a judo throw, and then just met everybody and kind of went through the whole class and just spent like 30 seconds and just we just call it moving around. So she just went through, like, she lined up our black belts basically and did full on randori, like full on sparring with them, which was just her throwing them at will. Like, I mean, and these are grown men, you know, black belts that have been doing judo for years. There's levels of this shit. So she would just, grab one, they would take 1 or 2 steps, she would do whatever, and bam, throw them, grab another one, boom, throw them. And then she went around with every student who was there, just for like a couple seconds each. And, she would just grab her lapel, she would break your grip, you grab her, you would try to do something, and depending on your skill level, like if you were blue and up, she would throw you. If you were like an orange or a white belt, she would, whatever, she wouldn't like throw you hard. And yeah, that was about it. She was cool, but it was a seminar, so everyone was there like asking her a bunch of questions, but she was kind of like, it was like a business thing. But she was really nice. You could tell, like, her personality wise, in a small setting, she would be super cool. Like, like you could tell she probably tells like fucking dirty jokes and shit, but she was trying to be like politically correct, and that's about the extent of it. When you reach there, you will be in your late 50s, and I hope you can get there. Hell yeah, dude. 60 is the new 40, bro. So listen, guys, we've been going for an hour and 7 minutes, and I think I'm going to call it. Hap is saying, Newaza is poop. What do you mean? Newaza is just fighting on the ground. Like, what don't you like? It's just because you don't like grappling? Is that what you're saying? Hap, tell me you didn't watch that Umar Nurmagomedov fight and think to yourself, this is some high-level shit. Like, how is that not exciting? There's just pure dominance. You just, like, I don't know what to tell you if you don't like that shit. That's just awesome. Andrew, it's 10 o'clock. I appreciate it. Are you telling me to get the fuck off? Are you sick of me rambling? I appreciate you guys letting me just ramble about judo and shit. I love judo and jiu-jitsu. It's a big passion of mine. I can talk about it for hours. So thanks for letting me ramble about judo tonight. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate that, Andrew. You're yeah, dude, in this chat, it seems like for whatever reason I pulled like the sharpest guys out of AJ's shit, like Hap, fucking Paku, Western Mass when he's in here. Who else? Just John Smith, UFC Casual. All these guys, like, they have some of the sharpest opinions when it comes to MMA and combat sports and stuff. So if you have any questions, these guys would be more than happy to answer them. And everyone's super cool. Like, if you ask a question, like, don't feel like, oh, if you ask a question about some obscure MMA fighter we're referencing, you don't know who we're talking about or something like that, you know, don't feel like you can't ask it. Just no one's going to make fun of you. We all started watching this shit one day, you know what I mean? No one's born an expert at anything. Like everyone, I'll never make fun of anyone ever for asking a question ever. Like, and not just in this, but just in life in general. Like that's how you learn. If you don't ask, how are you gonna know? I liked Umar's Newaza. Look at Hap using Newaza. Just fucking, I love it. The Russian destroyed my love for wrestling and grappling. Uh, yeah, 1 hour till Moneyline. You fill the time with the Jackal. That's right. I'm the fucking between the streams streamer. Umar's performance was unjustly crapped on. He literally made that dude look like he went through a meat grinder. And that dude was throwing some fastballs, boy. That he was throwing with intention. We all love MMA. That's why we love spending time on these lives. Even if the channel isn't massive. Yet. One day, you guys are going to be like, you remember when fucking TJ on MMA Jackal would have like 8 people in his live stream? Crazy. There's 1,000 now, and he only answers the super chats and does impressions and calls everyone a bum. There's a lot of Japanese words that are mad satisfying to say. Like Jujigatami, that's an armbar. A Senkaku, that's a triangle. Fucking Uchimata is a type of hip throw. I love the Uchimata. Or as my wife says, the Hoochie Mama. Yes, grappling with ground and pound is beautiful. I agree. All right, boys. We did a solid hour and 12 minutes. I appreciate every single one of you for coming in here and listening to me ramble. I'll keep you posted. Hopefully I don't have AIDS on my face and I can go back to practice this week. But all right. Well, I will see you guys in AJ's chat, and I'll be dropping a couple videos this week. I did some breakdowns. Hey, one thing before I go. I'm not a betting guy. Like I've said before, I do bet, but I'm not AJ where I'm going to break out a video with my best bets and predictions and shit. To be honest with you, I would really like to get together with Paku and do a show like that once a week or something. But I'm going to start spitting out some like ideas on like videos that I can do that'll be a little bit different that you guys would be interested. One thing I was thinking was like a what would it look like video, and I could describe the path a particular fighter could take to win. But I just want to go a different route than everything you're getting everywhere else. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to do the bets and shit better than AJ or Uncle Weezy. You know what I mean? Like, Uncle Weezy is this analytical mastermind he's gonna tell you mathematically what is the best bet to make and how much you should put on it, and he has that on lock, and that's not even my style. So anyway, I'm gonna start coming out with some like different ideas on different videos I can do, because I was doing some fight breakdown videos last night and I just wasn't feeling it. It was just feeling like I'm trying to copy other people, and I'm regurgitating shit. You know, I'm I'm telling you the tale of the tape, and you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'll think of some ideas, and maybe I'll do like a community post or something, and have you guys vote on it, and we'll try doing some videos that way. But all right, I appreciate it. Fun chat, guys. I'll see you guys in AJ's on the money line, and go Bills.